My additional tips in terms of the pairs work are, well, I think the key thing is to make sure that people are sticking with the practice of when they're listening, just listening and not getting into having a kind of two-way conversation. It's easy for people to slip back into that because what we're asking them to do is unfamiliar, and that is comfortable like a pair of old slippers. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the most generative way to do it, but it is easy. So helping to just nudge people towards that sense of discipline and sticking with the practice can really help people. I'd also say something that I often do is when I'm getting people set up to listen, when I'm reminding them of the instructions, and I keep reminding them of them, and literally just before they start I'll say, so if you're the one listening, you're saying your partner's name, asking the question, and then just listening and maybe offering the nudge if they need it, and what else. So I keep reminding them of that, and literally just before they start I remind them of that. So reminding them of that just before they start helps. And what can help, if it feels like you're kind of spacious enough in time, and this doesn't have to take long, is to invite them to find their feet on the ground, bum in the seat, and become present, so they have a sense of being really here and now in this moment, ready to listen. By helping them to have that moment to pause and get themselves ready, again, that seems to help people to be present enough to stick with the discipline and just do what we're asking of this, asking the question and then just listening. It seems to help. And then when you switch over, make sure you do the same thing with the other person. So don't assume that because they've just had great listening that they will then do great listening. They've been busy in their thoughts. So reminding them when they start, say, okay, feet on the ground, bum on the seat, get yourself feeling present in the moment, ready to listen, so you can bring your full attention to this person who's just listened so beautifully to you. And what you're doing is say your partner's name, ask the question, and then just listen. And if they really need a nudge, then you can offer and what else, or the original question. So you keep bringing people back into that space and reminding them of what they're doing, because it is unfamiliar. And that won't just evoke discomfort for some people, and lots of people actually find it fine and really enjoy it. But it's also, because it's unfamiliar, it's hard. It can be hard for people to remember. They slip into their old habits very quickly. So reminding people of that before they begin can really help. So those are the key things. There can be ways of inviting people into a particular way of being when they're listening too. So a phrase that both Andy and I will sometimes use is listen with delight. And I often find myself saying, as if you'll never have this moment again, because you won't. Because every moment is unique, and when you're listening to someone, this is their unique thinking in this moment. They may never say these things again, and they may have never said these things before. So it can be a really precious moment to really sit and be with someone and listen to them. So having that sense in yourself of listening with delight, of being fascinated, of being really curious, of being open and ready to hear, open-hearted and ready to hear maybe. Having that in yourself, so you're embodying that and modelling that for others, and then inviting others into that space. There is that potential to, if the moment feels right, to offer them that thought or that way of being, to say, try listening with delight. See if you can bring your full curiosity to this moment and really beautifully listen to this partner that you're working with. Inviting them into that space can help deepen people's experience and help them to keep peeling away the layers and doing more thinking, and in their listening to be really present fully with the other person, so they're not inclined to jump into the driving seat and kind of nudge the conversation in a different direction. In a way that we're maybe more used to doing when we have a normal kind of two-way conversation. So hopefully those things help, and I look forward to hearing back stories of your work leading pairs as well as rounds as part of these compassion circles.